So this morning, actually, let me back this up. Last evening, my lovely wife made homemade bread from Meg Holler's recipe. I'm sure they're not watching, but anyways, thanks, Meg. Turned out great. And we had a jar of the beans that we canned last Saturday to see how they turned out, and we really liked them. They actually turned out really good. So anybody that was wondering, they turned out great. We wanted beans for two reasons. One, we just wanted to have beans for supper. And two, we wanted to can more, but we wanted to make sure we liked how they turned out, and they were delicious. So we did these today a little bit different than last week's. Mainly, the only thing we did different was we put a piece of ham in the bottom, a chunk of ham meat, and we added a 1/4 cup of broth to it. So this will have a chunk of ham, and by chunk I mean probably an inch by 2 inch by 2 inch, probably an inch thick by 2 inch square in the bottom of each jar, roughly. 1 cup of bean, probably a cup and a 1/4 of beans, and 2 and a 1/4 cups of broth. We used beef broth. You can use water, whatever broth you want to use. It doesn't make any difference. But you got to boil the broth to put it in there. So this just went down a couple minutes ago. I'm going to pull this off very carefully because it was actually kind of weird. And see how they turned out. So
I'm quite eager to see.
Everything's good on that.
With our new adjustments.
Yeah, I am too. Because the jars, as you remember last week, the jars wasn't full all the way. They was like probably down. It was probably down about that far.
And putting that ham piece in will give it a really good ham flavor.
Don't drop your lid. They're definitely fuller than they was, and actually they look really good.
Do they?
They do look really good.
Ooh.
That right there.
That is a nice full
perfect.
jar.
So I wouldn't change a thing on how we did that.
Huh?
So what this is 3 pounds of beans does 7 jars the way we did these. And we used 4 quarts of beef broth plus probably a 1/2 quart of water, roughly.
That is nice.
That right there is perfect. So anybody that was wondering, and we'll probably have a jar of this in a week or so, just to see if we like it. And if we do, we may do some more. But
and if we don't, we know not to add the ham. Or
right, I can't imagine it's going to go bad with the ham in the bottom.
Can you see the ham?
No, I'd say the ham in that pressure canner for 90 minutes. That ham probably just disintegrated and just is probably flowing throughout the thing. The ham we used was leftover ham from Christmas dinner. I don't know how big the ham was. It wasn't real big, but we give most of it to Heather's mom and sister, and all we did was kept the chunks.
And then we had them
We froze them. We cut them into chunks and we froze them.
Beans and ham.
Just 4 beans, but
later, but yeah. This works.
I think one thing I would do differently is I would add more water to the pressure canner because it for whatever reason, the 3 quarts of water, I don't think it's quite enough in there.
Really?
It's down pretty low right now.
Yeah.
And I don't even got all the jars out yet. But that's definitely, I don't know if, my own personal opinion, this is how we're going to do them from now on. Mm. If we do them again.
Man, it smells good.
But this summer, now you got an entire meal. And one jar of that and, I don't know, 1/2 loaf of homemade bread. I'll say that. It's only 2 slices a person.
True.
Filled us up. That's all we had. Of course, that's all I had. Heather had a couple beets.
I couldn't.
And I can't hardly. Normally, whenever we get a jar of beets out, I usually eat half of it, if not more, myself.
We do them in pints, and they go fast.
They do go pretty quick.
And it looks like this time that there's actually broth left.
There is some broth. Some of them have broth. Some of them don't seem to. But they did last time though too. Whenever we first did them.
True,
it was the next morning. It was the next morning when we did them.
Okay.
When we took the lids off and labeled them, that the beans soaked them up. But That right there is perfect.
Man.
We just wanted to give you a quick update on what we did. And that right there, as far as filling the jars goes, I think that's perfect. This one here's probably the best looking one out of the bunch, but I mean, I don't know why some.
I am so eager to try this.
Yeah.
And the beans was perfect tender.
They were. The beans we had
All I
last
did
night, man,
was
they were delicious.
Dump them into a saucepan and warmed them up and turned it off, and it was done. Didn't have to boil them longer or anything.
No.
It was completely done.
No, they were perfect.
Yeah. And that beef flavor of that broth gave it that extra, and now with the ham in there.
And she did add a little bit of water to it. I don't know how much. Maybe she might have put a pint of water or something in them. Give them some broth when she was cooking them up, but it was perfect.
Oh yeah, last night for supper.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there wasn't much.
There's no broth in there when you dig them out.
Yeah.
But they are perfect. If anybody was wondering how they turned out delicious, and we tweaked our recipe a little bit. This recipe, I know I said at the beginning of the video, I will put it in the description below, so anybody that wants it, just write it down or screenshot it or whatever you want to do. But it will be below.
And this isn't FDA.
It's not FDA approved because we didn't soak to be FDA approved. You're supposed to soak the beans overnight,
and we didn't do that again. We rinsed them.
Rinsed them off. I rinsed them twice and let them soak for half an hour afterwards, so any floaties could float up and we could get rid of them. And then that was good enough. They're clean. They're pressure cooked. There's nothing wrong with doing them that way. But yeah, it's not FDA approved. But
and it turned out great, so we're skipping that step.
Yeah. There's no need letting them soak over. The only thing that's going to do is let them swell up so you know how much to put in there.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all that's going to do. We guessed it perfectly. The first time we tweaked it a little bit after that, and they're perfect now. So
yeah,
we know exactly what we're supposed to do. So we just wanted to give you a quick update. So that's going to do it.
Win-win.
Win-win. Definitely a win-win. 2 thumbs up for that one for sure. Take care and God bless.
See ya.